Mm-hmm.
So we will first talk about formatting the output. Okay. How do you format the output? But before that, I need to understand what are variables, right? We discussed briefly yesterday, right? So variables
Mm-hmm.
um, are values which keeps changing, right? So now I cannot say
Yeah.
that let's take 5 and assume it's 10, right? 5, I mean, I can't change that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we need to use something different, which should make it look like variable. So we prefer to use text just like the way we use functions, right? So yesterday
Mm-hmm.
you know, we could put, we saw like, some junk name we assigned 100 or something like that. I can say a equal to 5. I can say something like this equal to 10. Okay, I can say something like um, cost equal to 25, something like this, right? All these are
Mm-hmm.
valid ways of using a declaring a variables. Okay. Okay. So the left side is the variable name and right side you have the value, right? And of course, you can keep changing the value. I can say a equal to 35 as well, right? So now
Mm-hmm.
till line number 4, a was 5, but suddenly now a will become 35, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Now you see here, I have used in a way 3 different ways of naming. One is simple variable like a, b, x, okay, which looks very simple. Okay, then I have used some junk big character which we can't even pronounce, right? And then we have, used something like cost, right? Which
Mm-hmm.
is not as small as this, but it gives you a meaning, right? So we generally, what we recommend is that we should use variable names like this. Okay. Not as simple as this because it is simple, but you don't get any meaning out of it. When I say a equal to 5, you probably won't be able to guess what I'm trying to do. Okay. This is difficult because if I have to repeat it, it's very high chances that I'll make spelling mistake, right? If I try to add this, I might make some mistake. But if I use variable names like this, like cost, price, number one, total,
Mm-hmm.
sum. Now, when you use names like that, you can guess, right? When I say cost equal 25, you can guess that probably I'm talking about some product which is costing 25 rupees or dollar or whatever, right? So you
Yeah.
you can guess. Now, if I say something like that, total cost, okay, equal to um, product one, okay, into product two. Let's say something like this I write. Okay. Now let's say product, and in Python you can even declare something like this: product one comma product two equal to 100 comma 120. So you can even use two variable names together separated by comma. So you can write multiple names. Okay, product one, product comma, product two comma, product three comma, product four, so on, equal
Mm-hmm.
to, and then you have to give same number of values so that 100 will go to product one. So it's like left to right mapping.
Mm-hmm.
So first on the left here, we'll take the first value on the left here. Second value from the left, we'll take the second value from the left. So if I have two variables here, I have to give two values. So now when I say
Okay.
total cost equal to product one into product two, you will get it out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if the cost of product one is 100, the cost of product two is 120, so total cost should be plus, not minus, not multiplication, right? So, so you'll come back to me saying, are you sure? Do you really mean multiplication here? It could be correct,
Mm-hmm.
okay? So I can say you, yes, this is why I'm doing multiplication, or I'll say, oh, no, sorry, I meant plus. So when you have names
Yeah.
like this, right, you can predict, you can guess, right, what it is doing. And if you think something
Mm-hmm.
is wrong, you can go back. It could have been a mistake, right? I could have been written it by a mistake. So it's that's why it's always preferred that you use, we call them as mnemonic. So these words gives meaning by itself rather
Mm-hmm.
than using is or something like that. Okay. And there are a couple of rules. Okay. Rule is that, okay, variable name should begin with alphabet. Okay. And it can contain numbers and underscore. Underscore is the only character, special character, which is allowed. So I can, okay, so valid names could be like this. All these are valid names. Okay, so let me give invalid names. Names
Okay.
like one, var, or number dot one. These are all invalid. You cannot use anything other than underscores in a special character, or you cannot begin a variable name. It can be at second position. Okay, so I can say P1D1. Okay, P1D1, yes, it's valid. It should not be in the first position. That's the only condition that you need to have. Okay, but it can be at any other position, no problem. And only underscores. I can say first underscore number is valid, but first dot number, first hyphen number, all those things are invalid. Okay, so this is about variables. Now, when we talk about the values itself here, okay, and I'm assigning numbers here. So at basic level, okay, so we call it as basic data types. At basic level, you have integer, okay, which is represented as int, and these are like your, so okay, so maybe it's a good time to introduce you to what we call as multi-line comment. Okay,
Multi-line
comments.
comment. Okay.
So far we've been using single line comment, right? So single line means you put a hash and you write the comment, right? Put a hash and write the comment, right? We discussed yesterday, right? Hash, anything after hash is comment, and it will not be read by computer or Python. It is only for us to read and understand. So far we've been using single line. If you have to write one line comment, you put a hash and start writing. But let's say if I have to write multi-line comment, okay, so I need to give triple quotation. Okay, now again, coming back to what is the difference between single quote and single means single, both single or double, and triple quotation. When you have to write one line of text, okay, just one line of text, okay, you write single or double. When you have to write multi-lines of text, okay, when you have to write multi-line of text, then we give triple quote. So it's like we are creating a text, but you are not using it. That becomes a comment, right? You have a text, but if you don't use it, it becomes a comment. Okay. So this is like your multi-line comment. Okay. So if you have to write multi-line comment, instead of writing hash one line, hash second line, hash third line, you can put triple quote, and inside that you can put your comment. Okay. So when I run it, Python will not read it. Python will ignore these things. Okay. Python will ignore these things. So, okay. So I was talking about basic data types. Okay. So your basic data types, okay, the types of data. Data types means types of data, right? What are the different types of data that you can use for your work? So we work with integer, which we represent with int in Python. And these are like non-decimal numbers. Non-decimal numbers, both negative and positive, right? So like minus 99, minus 66, 0, 33, 999. These are all your integer values. Okay. So maybe I'll put it in different line here. Then we have something called as float values. Okay, and they are represented written as float only. So these are decimal values, decimal numbers, both negative and positive. So for example, minus 45.9 or 8, okay, minus 66.0, okay, 0.0, okay, 5.97821, whatever. These are all examples of float. The moment you have decimal, now if you see, minus 66 is same as minus 66, right? Minus 66.0 is same as minus 66. But since you have a decimal value here, it is float. Okay, so integers will not have decimal value. Float will have decimal value. So even if you give 0.0, okay, it is still considered as
decimal value.
yeah. Third type is called complex numbers, written as complex. These are square root of negative numbers. Okay, square root of negative numbers. Now, in your lower classes, you would have been told that negative numbers, root of negative numbers are not possible.
Mm-hmm.
But probably in your, 11th and 12th intermediate, you'd been taught that what is the square root of minus 25?
Not undefined.
No, it is defined. So square root of minus 1 is called as I in maths. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
And
yeah, yeah,
J in Python. So yes, you must have done it. Okay. So
yeah.
when you say they're called as um, uh, iota, right? That's what I stands for. Okay.
Mhm.
So when you say square root of minus 25, so you can write minus 25 as
25 I.
correct 25i, right? And
Mm-hmm.
sorry, 25 into minus 1, root of 25 into minus 1. So root of 25 is 5. So it becomes 5i.
5 I.
And
Yeah.
in Python, we represent it with j. So it becomes 5j. Okay. So in Python, we write it as 5j. Okay. So it is 5j. Okay. So yeah. And we will take a couple of examples today, and that's where we will end our discussion. Okay. So we are not going to use complex number in our work anyway. But when you get into physics, advanced physics or advanced mathematics kind of discussions, then of course complex numbers are used there. But our daily work kind of, we don't use this. Okay.
Okay.
So today we will take some examples and we will end our discussion today.
Okay.
So these three are your numeric data types. So numbers can be represented as integer, float, or complex in Python.
Mm-hmm.
Then the fourth one is called Boolean. Okay. Boolean
Okay.
are true or false. Just two values. Okay. Which is we call it as Boolean actually. And we represent it with bool. We represent it with bool, and it will
Oh.
have values just true and false. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
false is sometimes represented as 0 and true as 1. Okay. And this is very important. Okay. And okay, we'll see later how to work with these values.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one, and mind you, we are only at the basic. Okay. Later we'll talk about advanced. The last
Okay.
one is called string. Okay. We represent with str. These are your text content. Okay. So these are 5 types of data. Now, why do we need to know 5 types, data types? Because the operations that you can perform is dictated by the type of data. If I'm talking about string, um, I cannot add to string, isn't it? Add in addition. I can't perform addition of to string. Okay, I can't multiply to string, but I can add two numbers. I can multiply two numbers, right? So every data type have some properties. Okay. So if time permits, we'll do it now, or we will probably do it when we meet later. Okay,
Okay.
different operations that we need to perform on this. But before that, let's see how to write these things, okay, how to use them. So before that, we need to talk about a function called as type. So type is the second function we're talking about. Print, yesterday we discussed about the first function, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, so I said that we have a function called as type, and this is the second function we are learning. First function we learned was print, remember?
Yep. Yes, yes.
So first function we learned was print. This is our second function, which is called type, and this gives the type of the data.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's say if I say um, number of people, okay, equal to 55. So now if you print here, I'll say data type of number of people. Now data type of number of people will be printed as it is. Why? Because I have given in quotes, right?
Yep.
Now I'm saying comma, type of number of people. Now this is without quotation. This is without quotation. That's why Python has to evaluate this, isn't it?
Oh, yes, yes.
Python has to evaluate this. Now when you run it, see it says data type of number of people is class int. Okay, class.
Okay.
Now this int stands for integer. Now see, I've given 55. So it is saying integer, right? The class Python treats everything, even basic data type, as class and integer. Okay, so that's why it says class int, and we will discuss later. Okay,
Okay.
much later, what is class and int. Sorry, what is class and object. So for now, ignore the word class. Okay,
Okay.
so just understand that Python treats everything as class and objects. That's why you will every time you will get class in front of this. Okay, but the actual meaning of class we'll talk about later. Okay,
Okay.
so yes, so this is a variable number of people. This is a variable which has a value which is integer type. Now I'm going to add another variable. This time I'll call it as cost price or something. Okay, so let's say cost price or cost or something. Now here it can be 66.50, right? Now if I say print, I'll use same, I'll use here type of cost price, and let me put same thing in quotes here. Now when you run it, so see, you get float. Because we have
Yep.
decimal point, that's why it is quote.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, third type is complex. Okay. So complex will put call something as say value 1 equal to 25J. Or let me put some single number, so easy to calculate. 95J. Now when you print type of value 1, okay, and you run it, see it says complex J, right? Now if I do square of this, what do you think the square of value will be? Value 1 multiplied. This is how we use multiplication sign. Okay,
Yeah.
multiplication. So value 1 into value 1. What do you think the answer would be?
81J.
No. So 9 square is 81. What is J square?
Oh, J square is 1.
Minus 1. J square is minus,
Yeah,
right? So you
yeah.
get minus 81. All right.
Okay.
You get
Mhm.
minus 81, but um, okay, 1 minute, Susmita, 1 second.
Sure, sure.
Okay. So yes, so as you said, yes, square of 9j is 9 square is 81 and j square is minus, so it'll be minus 81. But see, it is also your it's a complex number, right? But minus 81 is what?
It's a integer.
Correct. Minus 81 is integer. But
Yep.
it has to be, because complex numbers will have to be complex numbers.
Mhm.
So how can we make 81 as complex numbers?
81 is square.
So we will say plus 0j.
Yeah.
Right? Now see, if you have 55, how do you make 55 as boolean, float? How do you make 55 as float? You will say 0.0, you add 0.0, right? See,
Yeah.
55 is integer, and to make it float, since it has to have a decimal value, you add 0.0, right? 0 decimal value.
Mhm.
Similarly, when you have um, integer number and you want to make it complex, you will add 0j, right? 0j means it's 0 only, right? But
Okay. Yes.
yeah, but it has to be of type complex. Okay, so that's why it adds 0j here. So it is of complex type now. Okay,
Mhm.
so this is the last time we are using um, complex numbers. Okay, we will not be
Okay.
complex number for our work, but you can try other operations as we learn more about integer and float. You can try those things also on complex. Okay. So these are your first three, which are your numeric numbers. Okay, numeric data types in Python. Next, we'll talk about Boolean. Boolean is true and false, right? So I'm going
Mhm.
to say bool val1 equal to, this is how you write, okay? T
Mhm.
capital and rest small. If you
Okay.
change it to TRU, it doesn't understand what it is, okay? And then
Okay.
defined error. Yesterday we saw undefined error, right? You will get
Yeah.
defined error here also.
Mhm.
Okay? So here we have to, if you want to mean Boolean. Now, if you want to have a text, of course you can put text here as quotation. That's what we're going to see next. But here we mean Boolean. Boolean means, okay, you have to write T capital RUE small or F capital ALSE small. Okay.
Okay.
If you want to represent true means yes or one. Okay. True means yes, basically, right? So it's like, is 5 plus 3 equal to 8? Answer will be true, correct? 5
Mhm.
plus 3 is 8. If I ask you, is 5 plus 3 8? Your answer will be true. That is where we use Boolean. Is 5 plus 3 equal to 10? Answer will be false, right? That's when we use Boolean, false, okay? So
Yeah.
we'll see the applications later as well. Now, okay, and this is very important. Boolean is very, very important, right? You can't imagine um, uh, any code without using Boolean, and we'll see later why I'm saying that. Now here you go and you say again, type of bool val1, type of bool val1, and you put it here. Okay, and when you run it, so you see it says class boolean. Okay, and the last data type, okay, is our text. I'm going to say text val1 equal to hello. Now, so far, whatever we have been using in double quote is actually a text value. This is called text. Text is always given in quotation, whether you give single, double, triple, okay? That is called text data or string data,
Mhm.
okay? So if I go here and say print type of text val1 equal to type of text val1, and when you run it, okay, str string, it is string. Okay, so
Okay.
these are the 5 basic data type, and for next few hours of our discussion will be about these data types only. Okay, what are different operations that we can perform on them.
Okay.
But before we get into that, I want to finish off this topic, which is formatting the output. How do you change? How do you have different types of output? Okay.
Okay.
Now, so of course, this is like it's about using print itself, but in
Mhm.
different ways. Okay, different ways of using print. So let's take an example. I'm just thinking of an example. Okay, let's say we have a variable called quantity
Mhm.
equal to 5. Quantity equal to 5, and let's say cost equal to 90. Okay,
Mhm.
and now I want to add calculation field. So total cost. The total cost is going to be quantity into cost. So you see, I've defined 3 variables here. Okay, the first variable I'm adding a value directly. To second variable I'm adding value directly.
Mm.
The third variable I'm using a formula. Okay,
Mhm.
the third variable is based on first 2 variable, and that's where we put variable. Now let's say if I tell you, okay, change the quantity to 51. So now you will
Mhm.
change it to 51 only here. Everywhere else, quantity will become 51 automatically, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, if you are instead of using quantity, if I had used 55 and 19 directly,
Mhm.
okay, now if you tell me that change the quantity to 51, I'll have to go and search everywhere, wherever, quantity,
Mhm.
wherever is 51, right? Maybe there's
True.
something else 5 and by mistake, I'll change that also to 51.
Yeah.
Right? You always should have one single variable and use it everywhere else, so that in future, if you have to make any changes, you will make changes at only one place. Okay, you
Mhm.
don't have to make changes at multiple places. Make changes only at one place, and everywhere else it will be reflected. Okay, everywhere
Okay.
else it will be reflected. Okay, now I want to print this. So I want to print something like, say, total cost of, okay, 51 pence, which cost 19, okay, will be uh, will be total cost, okay, rupees or something like this, let's say. So total cost of 51 pence, which cost 19, will be total cost rupees. Okay. Now, if I have to print this as it is, now the requirement is that you have to print these things as it is. Okay.
Mhm.
If I go and copy and paste it here, okay. Now you see this 51 should be replaced with quantity, correct? So
Yeah.
next time again you change the value will change automatically. So what you will do, okay, we'll delete 51, and what we have seen so far is we will close this text, we'll add quantity, and we will, because comma will add the space automatically. So that's why I'm
Yep.
giving the space here. So total cost of quantity pence, which cost again
Cost.
cost, comma cost, yes, comma, and right.
Mhm.
And here again, same thing you will do. So you will say close,
Comma. Total cost.
right? This is
Perfect.
what
Yeah.
you will do, right? Now when I run it, you get exactly the same thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because these values will be, these variables will be replaced with its values, correct?
Mhm.
Now if I change
Mhm.
it to 31, okay? your value will automatically change 31, and this also rupees also reduced. Total cost also reduced because it is calculated based on these values.
Mhm.
Now, so this is one way, of course. But see, there's a lot of closing quote, opening quote, closing quote, opening quote, right? So
Mhm.
there is even easier option here, okay, which is called format string. F string, which stands for formatting the string.
Okay.
Now, in this case, what you do, you say print, you put quotation, and you copy and paste the entire stuff like this, okay?
Mm.
Now, you put F here. Okay, before quotation, you put F, indicating that I'm going to format this string.
Okay.
Okay, now how do you format? This 51 needs to be replaced with a variable quantity. So I'll replace this with variable quantity. Now, but when I run it, okay, because this is in quotation, this quantity is printed as it is, right? But I want
Yeah.
it to be replaced with its value. So you have to put curly bracket.
Oh,
So curly bracket is an indication. Now curly bracket will not work if you do not put F.
okay.
Okay. If you put it, it will print it as it is, curly bracket quantity. Now when I put F here, indicating that I'm going to format, so that's the step number one. You put F indicating that you want to format. Second thing is, around this variable, you have to put curly bracket. You have to put
Okay.
curly bracket. Curly bracket indicates that you want to replace whatever is within the curly bracket with its value.
Mhm.
If I do not put curly bracket, the variable text will be printed as it is. But I want to replace it with its value. So I'll put curly bracket around.
Okay.
Now when you run it, you see quantity is replaced with 31.
Yeah.
Same thing I'll do. I will put here. Now you see, here you have cost word as it is. And here I'm putting cost within curly bracket. So what happens? Since this is outside curly bracket, this will be printed as it is. And what is inside curly bracket is replaced with its value,
Okay. Yeah.
right? Okay. And here again, I will put curly bracket.
Total cost in curly brackets.
Okay. So
Mm.
this is how you can do same thing. Now, personally, when I have to deal with only one variable in a line, I prefer, this way. Okay. Like this. I
Mhm.
put text and the variable, whatever. But when I have to
Yeah.
deal with more than two values, two variables, two values, right? I prefer this way. Here I have to deal with three variables, isn't it? So I prefer
Mhm.
this. This is easier than closing, opening, comma, right? So
Yeah.
this is what I prefer. Okay. And up to you, right? So it's up to you how you or what you want. Like if you feel comfortable with this, okay, no problem. But this
Mhm.
is another feature which Python provides to you,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Now there is one situation where probably you'll have to use format. Let's say I'll take similar example. And in this case, what I'll do, instead of having cost, quantity, and total, I will put quantity and I will put total cost here. Total cost, I'll put, let's say, 900. So what
Mhm.
will be your cost? Cost will be total cost divided by quantity, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I want to print same thing, let's say. Okay. Now when you run it, now you see here, it is 29.032258. It's giving such a big number to us.
Yeah.
Because when you divide, this is what you get. But when you talk about currency, okay, we don't go beyond 2 digit, right? 2 decimal point, right? So
Yeah.
needs to be formatted or modified. Cost needs to be formatted, right? So I'll
Mhm.
put colon here within the curly bracket. So I need to format the output value, okay? Actually, this is the actual usage of formatting. I need to format the output here. So I will say cost colon cost colon, and after colon, you put the type of formatting that you want. So I want to say point to F. Now, why point? Because I want to format the decimal output, the point value. I want to format the decimal value, so point. I want only two values after decimal, so 2. F indicating float, it's a float value. So I
Okay.
want to deal with float value. I want to format the decimal values and I want to have only two values after decimal, point to F. So colon, left of colon is the value that you want to format. Right of colon is the formatting that you want to do. Okay, colon. So colon again within the curly brackets. Left of colon is what you want to format. Right of colon is how you want to format. Okay. Now when I run it, you see, it gave us only 2 decimal places.
Yeah.
We'll round it off to 2 decimal places. Okay, so this is where you can use float or format basically. Okay, so this is how you can format a float value or decimal values. Okay, now let's say, let's take an example where we need to format text value, string value. So let's say I put player, country, comma, position, let's say. And I say player is Virat, country, let's say India, position, let's say I put opener. Okay. So I have three values here, 3 variables and 3 values. So each of these variables will take these values, right? First will take first, second will take second, third will take third. Now I want to format something like this. Print player plays for country as or at position, let's say. So when I run it, you see, it says player Virat plays for India at opener position. Okay. Now let's say I have one more value to print here. Now here instead of Virat, let's say we have something else. Some name. Okay. Here, let's say country is Zimbabwe. And let's say here position is. Okay. Now when you run it, so see this name is much bigger than Virat, right? So what happens? It obviously will take more space. So this place and this place are not exactly below each other. And of course, everything is bigger. Country name is also bigger. The position is also bigger. It went on for a longer distance, right? You have till here, right? Now, if I want to print name below name, country below country, position below position, right? So I need to format the text here. So to format, okay, I need to put colon. Colon indicates that you are doing formatting. Okay.
Okay.
Now, after this, okay, I will give the number. I want to see when you say that name should be below name, then you have to give fixed number of values for the name. Okay. So I say that name should take 15 spaces. Name should take 15. I'm reserving 15 spaces for name. Even though Virat is just 5 letters, but I'm reserving 15 spaces. So there will be 10 blank spaces, right? So Virat is 5-letter word. I'm reserving 10 spaces, 15 spaces. So 5 will be filled with these letters. 10 will be left as blank. Okay. Now if second name is, let's say 12, so 12 characters will fill it and 3 characters will be left blank. So that way what happens, you are fixing the spaces. So if we are fixing 15 spaces, so obviously name will take 15, and here the place will move 10 places towards right, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you fix number of spaces as same, then it will fall exactly below each other. Okay. So I said, okay, 15, 15, which is good. Now Python will have a doubt. Okay, you're giving me 15 spaces and you're asking me to fill only 5 characters. Where
Mm-hmm.
should I fill the 5 characters? Should I fill from left side? Should I fill it on the right side? Should I fill it at the center? 3
Yeah.
alignment possible. When you work with Word document also, alignment you do, right? Left, right, center alignment. So same
Mm-hmm.
thing you have to do, okay? Alignment. Okay, should I left align or should I right align or should I center align? So I'm saying you do left align. How do I say left align? Go to the left.
Okay.
Okay, this is your less than sign, isn't it? Less than
Mm-hmm.
sign, or think of it as an arrow mark. It's saying go left, go left, go left. Okay, now when I run it, you see 15 spaces has been reserved for the names here also and here also. And
Okay.
since maybe Virat has only 5, so it took 5. This might have 10 or 12, so it took 10, 12. Rest spaces left blank. Because I said go left, it's going towards left. And the blank spaces are on the right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now let's say position. Position, I want, let's give 15 again. But this time I'm saying put the content on the right. So I'm saying go right, go right. See the arrow direction greater than sign, right? So 15 spaces, but I am saying go right. So now when
Okay.
you run it, okay, it says go right. Now, when I said 15 position go right, still you see position is not below each other. Okay, why?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't
It has.
are there here. So you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So 13, right? And I said 15. So it should work, right? It should work. Now, it has fixed 15 spaces. So here, that's why you see there's a gap between here, right? So it has
Yeah.
fixed spaces. And in the 15 spaces, 13 spaces taken by wicket keeper and 2 spaces are left on the left side. Here,
Mm-hmm.
opener is maybe 6 letters, so 9 spaces are left on the left side. So this is how you do right alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Country, let me do left alignment, center alignment. So I'll give 10 spaces here and I will say go up. You see there's a sign is there on the 6, shift 6. So left side go left, right side go right, center go up. So this
Oh,
sign is used to indicate that you want to do center alignment.
okay.
I'm fixing 10 spaces for country and then country will be at the center alignment. So you see 10 spaces are left, okay, and country is aligned in the center. 10 spaces are left, country is aligned at the center.
Yeah.
So this is called center, left alignment, center alignment. Okay, you have blank spaces equally on the both the sides. If
Mm-hmm.
odd number of spaces, then more will be left on the left side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now here you see it is right alignment. So what I was trying to say earlier was, let's say wicket keeper was more than 15. Okay, then
Okay.
ignore. See, I'm assuming that I'm giving you maximum spaces of 15. Okay, I'm giving you maximum spaces of 15. But let's
Mm-hmm.
say if it is more than that, the character itself is more than 15.
Yeah. Then
Okay.
we put the higher value.
Yes, yes, exactly. Okay, I'll print the high, ignoring the constraint.
Yeah.
Ignoring the constraint. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so this is how you use formatting.
Yeah.
All good?
All good.
Okay. Now I will do a couple of small things before we wrap up for today. See, I don't know if you have, I mean, of course, you have not programmed in other languages, right? So in Java, C, C++, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you generally end with the line with semicolon,
Mm-hmm.
okay, indicating that it is end of the line. Most of the programming languages will have semicolon at end of the line, indicating it's end of the line.
Yeah.
Python says, okay, fair enough that, you are indicating that, semicolon is end of line. So I will also accept it, but it's not required for me. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because the moment you hit enter, I know you're going to next line.
Mm-hmm.
When you hit enter, I know you're going to next line. Then why do you have to indicate to me that's the next line?
Mm-hmm.
So semicolon is there in Python too, but it's not mandatory. If I give semicolon here also, no problem. Okay, it works very fine. No change at all. But it's not required. It's not mandatory.
Yeah.
But for some reason, let's say I want to add these two things together in same line. Then you can say semicolon and you can put them in same line.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you, this is just for your knowledge that this exists in Python, but I don't think we'll be using it for something like this. No change in output. So for some reason, if you want to club two different lines together, then semicolon becomes mandatory. Because if I don't give semicolon here, it will give error because there's no syntax like this.
Oh, true.
Correct? So you
Yeah.
semicolon and to indicate that, oh, this is different line and this is different line.
Okay. Okay.
This is different. This is different.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is one small thing, and we'll stop here for today, for
Mm-hmm.
now. And